Hey guys, what's up? Spectr here, and I recently read a Game Rant piece that takes a guess at what a hardcore mode could look like in Project Orion, the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, and even some ideas on how CDPR could implement this game-changing feature. Oh, and spoiler alert, this video heavily references one of the saddest endings in Cyberpunk. Let's jump into it. The article that I've linked below dives into the potential for a hardcore mode in Cyberpunk 2077's sequel, Project Orion. This hypothetical hardcore mode is based on the tower ending in Phantom Liberty, where V has had his or her chip successfully removed, leaving them much weaker and unable to use cyberware permanently. No mantis blades, no double jump, just you, your wits, and whatever scavenged gear you can find, which sounds absolutely brutal. It would really drive home just how much cyberware defines you in this world and how vulnerable you are without it. The article argues that this kind of hardcore mode would be more than just a difficulty spike. It would fundamentally change how you approach the game. Suddenly, every encounter becomes a life or death struggle. You can't just rely on your tricked out cybernetics to get you through everything. Instead, you have to be smart, resourceful, and maybe even a little bit more sneaky. It would force players to really engage with the world and find more creative solutions rather than relying on their characters' upgrades. It would also just make sense from a narrative perspective given that that's one of the endings of the game. It would be kind of cool. It would be a completely different way to experience Night City. I think it's a pretty great idea, and I actually got that ending on my last playthrough and it really affected me for some time after. Waking up months later, calling your friends and your love interest and seeing that their life has gone by, that time still moves on with or without you, and then you're ultimately taken out by some low-level street thug on a corner, it's all very jarring after double jumping your way through Night City and slicing up people with mantis blades. Power becomes part of your identity as V. And stripping that away from you, it's really jarring, and I think it's a really interesting thing to play with. And I think that playing through without the ability to modify yourself would force players to think differently, to more heavily augment their weapons or more extensively kit out their armor. Ultimately though, I don't think CDPR would ever go this route, and I don't really want them to. Cybernetic implants are so core to their established gameplay loop, they're so much fun to use, and they can really make your character feel unique. Not to mention that they're just cool looking. What would be interesting though are different world states based on your ending. For example, if I got the tower ending and after the credits roll, I'm stuck without cybernetics if I want to mess around in the city after beating the story. Being stuck in a certain world state post-credits would lend to the feeling that you actually changed the world, or at least your world with your decisions, rather than simply being pestered by this quest notification for the rest of your playtime. And there are so many routes that devs can go. Did you pick an ending that aligned with a certain gang or faction? Random enemy faction attacks throughout the rest of your playtime could spice things up. Did you pick an ending that centered around a particular romance? Well, give players post-credit romance-related text messages or even more development in your relationship the way countless PC mods have already done for us. I think having permanent endgame states would just add another level of gravity to your decisions, a feature that games are always touting, while also maintaining the core gameplay as you play through the story. So in this tower example, you'd still have all your cybernetics as you play through the main story, and then only get this interesting twist at the very end, which you could explore as much as you want to, after you've completed the main story, through Radiant quests and things like that. And by doing this narratively through gameplay systems, it means they don't need to change the entire look of the overworld based on your choices. So the solution seems manageable and easy to scale. We're not asking for an ending that levels half the city and changes the entire landscape. Just some more narrative content based on the ending that we've earned by the end of our playthrough. Make us live through the consequences of all of our choices throughout the game, even if it's just for a little while. What do you guys want though? Does this sound like a good idea? Let me know in the comments below, and before you click off to your next video, make sure to check around my channel for more Cyberpunk lore dives, character builds, and just way more content based around Cyberpunk. Also, a like and a sub would do wonders for the channel, as I'm trying to get back to posting regularly. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.